Hey guys, the SnapMaker U1 is a highly capable tool changer when it comes to PLA and PETG. However, out of box, it doesn't support engineering grade filament, something I require in my print farm. This video is not meant to be an exhaustive list of all of the changes and upgrades I've done and will do with the SnapMaker U1. If you want me to go deeper into those changes, first, like the video, subscribe, and comment below that you want more information. I spent over $270 upgrading the base U1 into the U1 Pro. Now a tool changer capable of laying down engineering filament. By the way, the term Pro is not an official moniker, but perhaps SnapMaker will make a Pro version someday. The questions I will answer with this video: what did I do to turn the U1 into the U1 Pro? Was it worth the extra cost? And should you do the same? A bit of my SnapMaker U1's history. I got my U1 through its Kickstarter. I paid a deposit, and with early bird pricing, I paid $680 after my $100 refund. That is much cheaper than its current pricing of $850 to $900. I got all the upgrades for the U1 Pro when BQ had a sale for around $220, and I paid $49 for the hardened steel nozzles from SnapMaker. Altogether, I spent around $950, the same price for what its closest rival, the Creator 5 Pro, supposedly retails for. The $270 I spent on those upgrades came from what I was saving to buy the Creator 5 Pro before I learned it was going to be locked down. I have a video on why I won't buy that printer. Of course, if you were to buy the SnapMaker U1 plus the upgrades right now at the time I'm creating this video, you will be spending around $1,100 to $1,200. Ouch. That is in the price range of the Sovol M1D Essentials Edition, but keep an eye out for sales. So, what makes this U1 a Pro variant in my opinion? The upgrades are straightforward, but do have a major impact on this printer's filament capability. I spent the last 300 print hours printing nothing but engineering filament like ASA, ABS, PA6CF, PA12CF, and others. Everything I have printed has been flawless. I have purchased and installed a BQ pop cap, Panda Breath, and hardened steel hot ends. These three upgrades turned a printer I wasn't completely sold on, to be honest, into a workhorse capable of printing some of my clients' most demanding functional parts. Most importantly, this SnapMaker U1 Pro has been printing consistently without fail. I know some of my community members were worried that the Panda Breath would cause issues with the U1, but everything continues to work. I have inspected the internals of the U1 multiple times during the past couple months of heavy use, and outside of a lot of normal printer maintenance, the printer's internals aren't warped or show any signs of premature or unusual wear. I will update you all after I hit 2,000 print hours. Yes and no. In my case, it was worth the upgrade cost. I can now print most engineering filament with a stable chamber environment that is automated, including preheating that is much faster to get up to temp than using passive heating. This means less time waiting and more time printing. Why have a tool changer built for speed only to be limited by the number of filament you can use or waiting for the chamber temp to stabilize using passive heating? Now, here's the caveat to everything I've said thus far. While I have everything configured, including modifying the U1 with custom macros, I do understand that most people will not want to do this. The cost will not be worth it to them. Installing and configuring the Panda Breath was easy, and I think the difficulty of changing the hot ends on the U1 is a bit overblown, but the beginner could struggle. Although, I don't think many beginners are going to buy the U1 for engineering filament. I say all of this to point out, if you're going to print using engineering filament once in a while, the official SnapMaker top cover will serve you well. The SnapMaker U1 serves as a prime example of why I love 3D printers that have an open ecosystem using open source. There are multiple aftermarket solutions available to increase the U1's capabilities, and more on the way. I'm not done upgrading my U1 Pro. Far from it. I am thinking about the Pika hot ends as my next upgrade, but I am waiting to see if Microswiss launches a Flowtech hot end that's compatible with all of the Flowtech nozzles I have, which is reportedly, reportedly, in development. This is the question you need to answer yourself. I personally decided it was worth turning the U1 into a Pro variant capable of doing more. Again, that is the beauty of an open ecosystem. Snapmaker embraced the open source community, modders, while delivering a printer that the beginner can use. FlashForge, Anycubic, and others should take note. I will have a standalone video with my complete thoughts on the BQ Panda Breath, but I can say now it integrated smoothly with the U1 and Klipper, and it has not failed once to either automatically heat the chamber when needed or filter the chamber's air. As for the BQ PopCat, I felt it was overpriced when I bought it at $120 due to how flimsy it is, and now that I see its price at $180, BQ is out of their mind. At least in the US, it is best to pick up the official top cover and pair it with the Panda Breath. If you have any questions or you want more information on how I set up my U1 Pro, comment below. Anyway guys, like and subscribe. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.